Anchor down, Admiral Nation, and welcome to the Admiral Brag Sheet. We've been off for a couple weeks for Thanksgiving break and some other things going on. So we're going to get right into it. But first, let's talk about what we've done since last we've seen you. And the big thing was Thanksgiving break. So I'll start off. Thanksgiving break. My wife and I actually celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary over Thanksgiving break. So
Congrats.
thank you, appreciate it. So we got a chance to go to Gatlinburg for a week, which is one of our favorite places on earth to be. We don't necessarily like the shopping of downtown Gatlinburg as much if you've been. It's like really congested, but we like to get out and do hiking and driving around and just seeing all the beautiful scenery that is Gatlinburg. So it was a great time for me, a good way to get refreshed. So what'd you do, Wes? Fortnite?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I did a little bit of some baseball stuff getting ready for the season, but mostly, ate a lot of food, slept a lot. Now we got 2 more weeks to go until we have Christmas break, so just trying to power through.
That's right. I ate a lot too. I think I gained 20 pounds.
Going into when you asked me, I was like, I don't even know what I did, but I went to Starkville for Thanksgiving.
Did you?
I went to the Egg Bowl, yeah. That's
Okay.
where I went and saw my sister. She goes to Mississippi State. And so,
Pretty good game.
Yeah, it's all right game. It was close there to the end.
Okay.
It was fun. I stayed a little bit on Friday morning, hung out with some friends that are up there, so it was fun. But aside from that, trained soccer beginning of the week and took off Thursday, Friday, and was back at it Saturday. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, holiday season's awesome. A good time to get together with families and friends and stuff like that. But I'm also excited to be back, and we're just going to update everybody on some things that have happened in the athletic department over the last couple weeks. So let's do some girls soccer updates of scores.
Yeah, so the Lady Admirals had 2 games over the break. On November 28th, they played at D'Iberville and got a 2-0 win. I believe that was our first district game, so it was good to start off district on the strong foot, I guess you could say. And shout out to my sister, Elsie Hyde. She scored a goal. It was a really impressive goal.
banger.
Yeah, you showed me that one right before we got on air. It was, man, that was awesome. That was fantastic.
Shout out to her and the Lady Admirals for getting the road dub. And then December 1st, they played at home against St. Martin. They lost 2-1, but I heard it was kind of a controversial game. I know there was a lot of referee calls that were up in the air. I think they thought they should have had 2 or 3 penalties in the box for penalty kicks that they didn't get. The ref didn't give them. I believe Coach Pryor got his second yellow card in
23 years.
23 years.
That was wow.
And
incredible.
when you can get a coach as calm, cool, and collected as Coach Pryor to get a yellow card, then that's how you know the refs are probably screwing you a little bit, to be honest. But it's a tough loss, but they have an important home game coming up, I think, tomorrow. So the season's still looking up for the.
Yeah. So actually, I got a chance to walk over with Coach Pryor and talk to that official at the end of the game. And let me just say this: Coach Pryor is the most professional guy that I've ever met in all my time of coaching. He handled himself really well. It was disappointing kind of how the official handled himself in that situation, but it just goes to show how just great of a human being Chris Pryor is.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic guy. Handled himself really well, and I think he always represents Gulfport really well. But stuff like that will come back to be repaid to Coach Pryor because of the way he handles himself and the way he trains his team. So big shout out to him. Fantastic.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, what we got on the boys' side?
So the boys played one more game than the girls. We actually played a game that week before we got out. It was after we did the podcast that week. So we played St. Stanislaus and won 4-3. We were missing a couple guys still, but 4-3 is still a good result. Got the W. We were up 4-0, so honestly it got a little hectic towards the end of the game when it really shouldn't have. But honestly, pretty easy. Should have put that one away 5 or 6 years, honestly. But a win's a win for us, and we were all right to come away with that result. St. Stanislaus is a good team. We played really well, so good result for that one. And then start with district play, and every single district game will match up with the girls. So every time we talk about that, they start district, they play district. We also play district just right after them. So we went to D'Iberville as well. Got a 3-0 result with that one with a win. That was probably one of those boring soccer games I've ever played in my life.
Really scored 3 goals pretty quick and pretty well together. So it could have been a lot worse than that.
Oh, yeah.
probably.
Oh, yeah. A lot of these games are probably 7-0 type games that we just the type of team we are. We don't really run it up the score too much.
Yeah.
We kind of just we get what we need to do because the max goal differential for a district play is 3 goals.
Yeah.
So once you score 3 goals, that's the highest amount you can get. So like the first match day of district, Harrison Central played Ocean Springs, and they won 5-0, but we're still leading the district now because they only won Bob Biloxi by 2 goals.
That's right.
So anyway, but so good result there. Got the max goal differential, what we needed, what we wanted to do. Then we came at home, returned to the Herb, got on the grass field for the first time. I know we've talked about the renovations.
It's in really good shape.
Really good condition. Yeah, it was really awesome to play on, and got a 4-0 result against St. Martin. Then again, scored those goals pretty early. Kind of just put them away, and then kept the clean sheet from the back.
Yeah.
And it's really fun getting out there and playing with my team now because everything's kind of coming together.
Yeah.
It's looking really good. So
yeah, I think what's y'all's record right now? Like 7-2, I believe.
8-1.
8-1. That's I don't know why I said 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously the only loss against Clinton, and we were kind of down some men in that game. And that's one of the best teams in the state. I like to think we're up there with them as well. But yeah, so really good start to the year, and we've given up 9 goals on the entire year, but 6 of those came against Clinton.
With our starting keeper, we haven't got scored on.
That's incredible.
So the Clinton game and the State Stanislaus game, when we say we're missing numbers, we had our backup keeper in.
Yeah.
So with our core varsity team, we have not got scored on.
That's incredible. That's a really good sign for a good season for us.
Yeah.
So excited to see how that continues on the rest of the way. So let's go ahead and move on to girls basketball. Girls have had a rough stretch so far. They've had some injuries, some kids that have been out a little bit. Since the last time we talked on the Admiral brag sheet, they've played 4 times now. Unfortunately, lost all 4 of those games, but have really played really hard. I'll talk a little bit about this past Saturday's game that I was in attendance for, but just go through against Madison Ridgeland in the Thanksgiving tournament that we host here. We fell 61-43, lost that one. Madison Ridgeland always got a lot of good players. They're one of those private schools that can go out and recruit and get whatever they want to, and we're dealing with our homegrown players. And again, we've got a young team and have dealt with some injuries, so. They played hard, but fell in that one. Lost to Oak Grove, 54-35 in that one. Again, a good Oak Grove team, and we played really hard. Just came up a little bit short. Last week, we went up to Madison Ridgeland on a Friday night and dropped that one 47-34. So a rematch from the Thanksgiving tournament, but came out on the wrong end on that one. But again, played really well, and we started to get some kids back from injury. And probably the hardest part of this past week was they went up to Madison on Friday night, turned around and came back and played Saturday morning at St. Martin after riding all that way on the bus. Played a really good Davidson team out of Alabama. I got to the game a little bit late. When I walked in the gym, we were down 17-0. However, we took the lead in the third quarter at one point. We tied it up at 34, took a lead, went back and forth with them a lot in the fourth quarter, ended up losing the game by 4 or 5 points, but showed a lot of fortitude by our team by traveling as much as they did, fell way behind, and then fought back, took a lead. And that was a really good Davidson team that's got a bunch of kids that are going to go on to play college basketball. So really proud of our girls. I know the best is yet to come. It's been a young team. We know we're going to play our best at the end of the year. So, and then to update you on the boys' scores, of course, we had the Thanksgiving tournament here. We dropped the first game of that tournament, 72-52 to Heritage Academy. Really good team. We talked about Madison Ridgeland is a similar type team. Heritage can go out and get whatever players that they want. So we played well in spurts during that ball game, but ultimately fell. Fortunately, I wasn't there to be able to see that. I was in Gatlinburg during that time, but Coach Fuller kind of kept me updated on what was going on. The team played well in spurts, but just ultimately couldn't pull that one out. But then Hancock, we got a win against Hancock, 49-35, to at least salvage one of those games. Got a chance to play against Long Beach on that Saturday of Thanksgiving break, beat them 61-33. A lot of these scores that you're going to see are going to be low-scoring ball games because we play really well defensively. Coach Hesser's done a good job instilling defensive fundamentals on the team, and got a big win against them. And just like the girls, the boys went up to Madison Ridgeland on Friday night. Long trip up there. Played a tough ball game. Went back and forth with them a lot. Fell behind to a point, came ahead, and then Madison Ridgeland went on like a 10-0 run at one point. We cut it to 6 points at one point during the fourth quarter, but ended up losing 57-49 in that ball game. So, but again, young team, long trip up there. Really getting better and better every time they go out there, and played really well. And just like the girls, the boys were supposed to turn around on Saturday and play. We were supposed to play LaFleur. Got to the gym, LaFleur did not show up. It was one of those things. It was at Harrison Central we were supposed to play. I left St. Martin watching the girls play. I drove over to Harrison Central. I walked in the gym. I signed in. Somebody stopped me and said, "Hey, Coach, LaFleur didn't show up." So we got a 2-0 forfeit win against them.
Nice.
A win's a win, but would have rather played that ball game. So, I don't know why they didn't show up. They just didn't show up. But
low scoring affair there.
yeah, this is a shutout.
I know.
You don't see basketball shutouts too much, but we'll take that one. So, just a good little stretch of athletics over the last couple weeks for the Admirals, and the bowling team's been out there getting their thing done. We're going to get some updates on some of their matches coming up, and looking forward to seeing them improve as the year goes along as well. So, with that, let's go ahead and update the week to come for the Gulfport Athletic Department, and we'll start off with today, Monday the 4th, starting off at 3:30. The bowling team, which we just talked about, has their first bowling match, or not their first one, but they have their first one back from Thanksgiving break at 3:30 today at Cypress Lanes. At 4:30, Bayou Middle School basketball hosts Ocean Springs. At 4:30, Gulfport Central Middle School basketball goes to North Gulfport. At 5 o'clock, the JV girls and 9th grade boys basketball teams will be hosting Harrison Central and Burt Jenkins Gym. And at 5:30, the Bayou Middle School white soccer team will host North Woolmarket here on our track field. So let's move on to Tuesday. What do we got?
Tuesday we got Ocean Springs. at
Big
the Herb.
one.
Yeah, that's district game. They moved into our district. They're always a rival and everything, kind of. But they got a really good team this year. We got a really good team this year, so it'll be really fun. The Coast comes out with rankings every week for soccer, and we were 1 and they were 2.
Yeah.
So and we're competing for a district title, which is playoff spot. So
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very big game. It's a must-win for us.
Yeah. So that's always really interesting to see. And you got two kind of contrasting teams right there, because our girls will start off playing against Ocean Springs. And for several years now, it's been between us and Ocean Springs for who's going to go to the state championships and things like that. Obviously, we've lost a lot of talent. Ocean Springs is going to be the favorite in that game for the girls' team. But they have to come to our place at the Herb, where, we are very successful on the girls' side. So I expect our girls to put on a good showing. And that boys' game is just going to be a heavyweight match at the end of the day. So I'm pumped up to see that one. I'm the game administrator that night, so I can't wait to sit there and watch some good soccer all night.
Me too.
You going?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Good deal.
I'm going. I'll
Student
be there.
section, we need everybody to show up and show out and be there to support everybody. What we got on Wednesday, Wesley?
Only thing on Wednesday, 5:30, the JV boys and girls play Biloxi at the Herb. Should be a good tester for them.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, 4:30, BVMS takes on Gulfport Central Middle School. It doesn't say where, but
It's going to be at Gulfport Central
Okay.
Middle School. So that's going to be our two middle schools taking on each other. So I got a chance to see the first one when they played at BioView. So this can be exciting to see it over at Gulfport Central.
for sure. And then at 5, basketball, JV boys and girls are at West Harrison. 5:30, JV soccer boys and girls are going against Harrison Central at the Herb. Also at 5:30, BVMS Orange soccer versus St. Patrick at the track field. My little brother Jeffrey is playing in that game, so
There we go.
Oh, he's on orange? I was about to say I want to try and go to the white game tonight. I didn't know if he was on orange.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I should probably go to one or two of those.
Yeah.
And then also 5:30, the white team is at Gaucher. So that should be a busy day for athletics. A lot of good games.
Yeah. Then Friday night, what we got, Wesley?
Friday.
Night at Harrison Central. That
Yeah,
night.
yeah. Soccer at Harrison Central, and then basketball also at Harrison Central. Same thing happened last year. We all played Harrison Central at Harrison Central at the same
Yeah.
time.
It happened at Hancock.
That was right.
It was at Hancock.
Yeah. So yeah, is that district for the basketball
Yeah,
team as well?
it's district for soccer and
Yeah.
basketball.
So two big district games at Harrison Central for both. It says here the JV boys, varsity girls, and varsity boys all play. So JV girls don't.
JV girls don't play that night, and that happens sometimes in basketball. Sometimes there's 4 games in a night, sometimes there's 3, and they'll just alternate back and forth who will play the JV game and who won't play the JV game. So I plan on spending my evening Friday night at Harrison Central, probably running in and out of the gym and over to the soccer field and trying to catch a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good night to go up to Harrison Central and see our soccer and basketball teams play. And then Saturday, we got 2 things going on. First of all, I'm gonna finish with cheer, but at 6:30, the varsity boys basketball team plays West Harrison at D. Iberville.
They're getting a workload.
Yeah, it's had 3 games over this week. That's gonna be a tough little stretch for them. So, and then our cheerleading squad has their state championship on Saturday at 12:30 at the Mississippi Coliseum in Jackson. So cheerleading, have you, either one of you ever been to a cheerleading competition? Probably not.
Cannot say
I can't say I've been.
I hate to miss them, but I mean.
So they're really cool, and I'm gonna tell you why. The cheerleaders, they practice all year long for one event that will take about 4 or 5 minutes. So all of that work that you put into for the entire year is completed in 4 or 5 minutes, and so it's really stressful. And you go into the Coliseum, and there's all these cheerleading squads, all these different divisions, and the girls just go in, and there's judges sitting right there in front of them, and they go through their little routine, and hopefully everything goes perfectly for them. You know, you're hoping for 4 minutes of perfection, 5 minutes of perfection, and hopefully they get a chance to show off exactly what they do. But it's always fun. I don't get a chance to go every year. I am going to go this year and watch them, so I'm excited to see that. So, and I do encourage anybody, if you get a chance to do that, go up and see the girls at 12:30. They work really hard all year. They don't get put in the spotlight nearly enough because a lot of times they're the sport. They're cheerleaders, so they're there for the basketball teams, for the football teams, you know, for other people. This is their chance to be in the spotlight. So I would encourage anybody, if you don't get a chance to go, at least go say something to them this week to encourage them, and hopefully they have a good result for the year. So big week of athletics. Looking forward to it. We're going to finish this off with a little conversation about college football. You know,
Let's do it.
the college football playoffs have been set. We have our 4 championship teams coming up. A little bit of controversy yesterday, and seeing who gets in. So, you know, the big thing that happened Saturday was Alabama beating Georgia, and that kind of threw everything into a mess. It was still going to be a tough decision for the committee, but you ended up, Alabama got in, Texas got in, Washington got in, and Michigan got in. So you got 4 teams. So let's start off this way. Who do you think should have gotten in that didn't get in? Or if you thought everybody got in that should have gotten in, was there somebody close that you thought should have gotten in? Wesley, what you think?
My thing with it's just the system is like messed up.
It is.
Like, which is good because it's the last year they're doing it.
Screaming Ole Miss fan.
It's good that they're doing it like this last year because 12 team, if not 16 team, is what they should do it.
Yeah.
Eventually,
12 team is
but
nice.
12 team is going to be really cool next year. But like Florida State, like you can't act, they did literally everything in their possibility.
They couldn't have done anything else.
I mean, yeah, maybe beat a couple teams by a bigger run margin.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, they won every single game that was asked of them, and they didn't get in just because their quarterback got hurt. You know. But at the same time, like
Yeah,
Bama,
that's curious. Had he not been hurt,
oh, they would 100% be in.
You think they're in?
Absolutely.
You think they're
because
in?
I think they're
he
in
was
over
a
Texas. I think
he was a Heisman. He was
I
a
almost
Heisman
feel
trophy.
like the committee used that, like was thankful
Oh, absolutely.
that happened so
Oh,
that they didn't leave an
If
SEC
he didn't break
team
his
out.
leg, he wins the Heisman as well.
No, I don't think he would have been like one of the top ones.
I think he wins it.
But yeah, it's just I don't know. And I think they were probably praying that Louisville was gonna beat them, so they would have an easier decision. But
Yeah. So I kind of thought about this a lot. The committee had a no-win job, right?
no, it's
yeah.
impossible
Oh, yeah.
situation.
Because do you leave an SEC school out of
You
the
can't.
play-
I think in an
can't.
SEC school, do you leave the SEC champion out?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
You leave the SEC champion out. No, you cannot
can't.
do
Yeah,
that.
you can't leave the
cannot
SEC
do
champion.
that.
And then putting Texas at 3 would justify it because Bama lost to Texas.
And I don't think if Bama goes in, you can't leave Texas out because
Yeah.
Texas beat them. Even though I think Bama's a different team now
For
than
sure.
what they were before. I think the committee, honestly, I think they got it right
I think they did
based
too.
off of what they had to deal with.
They had an impossible
Now
job.
the system's messed up,
Yeah.
so I got a chance to. I've seen this before, but have you heard Mike Leach talking about the college football playoff?
Yeah, it's really funny.
It's really funny, and Mike Leach unfortunately passed away last year. But he always left us with some golden gems of knowledge. But he kind of went through the whole thing and just said, why can't we get this right?
Yeah.
Look, can we look at other people's systems that get it right? And the first thing he started off with was like Pee Wee Sports. And he thought, well, that's really low scale. So let's look at the sports below us in high school. High school puts in 16, 32, sometimes 64 teams into the playoffs. And high school gets it right. Why can't college get it right? Like, why do y'all think that is? Why do
Money.
you think it's been? You think it's all about money?
Well, a lot of it's money, honestly.
Yeah.
But you're bringing in more money if you play more playoff games.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. And the committee, all the people on the committee are just like old heads that, like,
There's
I
always
think
a
there's like
bunch
a 90-year-old something doing.
Whenever they select it, there's always a bunch of stuff that's like, I didn't even watch any games. Like, I just walked in here. I thought you were supposed to like get selected. I
Yeah.
guess not like just like a meeting, like there's people playing around.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 12 team will be a lot better for
Yeah.
sure. Because I was looking at when they made a graphic of what it would have been.
Ole Miss
Yeah.
would've
You had
been-
Georgia playing Ole Miss in the first round,
Yeah.
and the winner playing Texas.
Yeah,
would've
I
been so
think
cool.
either of those teams beats Texas right now.
yeah, yeah.
So going back to your original question, I do think the committee got it right based off of the 4 team, but I'm an Alabama fan.
Yeah.
So let's get this out there.
Oh, Lord.
Let's get this out there. My dad was born in Tuscaloosa. My grandparents went to Alabama. I promise I'm not hopping on the bandwagon.
yeah,
But anyway, you got to put Alabama in. You
Yeah.
got to put Alabama in. They're the SEC champion, 12-1. It doesn't matter. You won the best conference in the nation.
And you beat the number 1 team.
Yeah, you get in the
At a
playoff,
neutral site.
regardless of what it is. But anyway, it really does suck for Florida State. But the 4 best teams in the nation are Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, and Washington.
yeah,
It's not close.
yeah.
I mean, I might put Texas at a close 5, but just right now, in no order, it's Georgia, Washington, Michigan, Georgia, Washington, Michigan, Alabama.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And I think Ohio State's knocking on the door
Oh,
of
yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what I thought when it came down to picking those 4 teams was putting the 4 teams in there that you could conceivably see winning the national championship.
Florida
Could
State
you
would've
see
gotten-
Florida State winning.
They
the
would've been a
national
20-point
championship.
underdog.
Yeah, they weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
Ohio State, you put them in, they might could win it. Georgia, you put them in, they might could win it.
I think
But I
Bama's
think
gonna win
Bama could win it. Washington could win it. Michigan could win it. Can Texas? You don't know, but
I mean,
they
they
beat
just
They beat
spanked
Bama.
Oklahoma, though.
They spanked Oklahoma. So
Or Oklahoma State. They
Yeah.
lost.
State, that's right.
yeah. So it's I think they got it right. Unfortunately for Florida State, because they did do everything that they
It just-
could
it's such
possibly
a-
do.
Like, if I was Florida State's coach, I would protest however I could.
They filed for state legislator to
Yeah.
sue the college football committee.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's just really unfortunate. Like I said, I mean, I'm an Alabama fan, but
Yeah.
they got it right. But it
They
just
did.
sucks. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel for Florida State fans.
Well, you remember when was it Central Florida UCF
They went
several years
undefeated.
ago? They went undefeated, and they felt like they should have gotten into the playoff.
And they
and
beat LSU.
They
They
kind
won
of
the Sugar
created their
Bowl.
they won their Sugar Bowl.
So
they
that's-
went
yeah.
undefeated. And
That's
so,
a good team, though. That was Blake Bortles, wasn't it?
Really good team.
That's the
Really
same thing
good
with Liberty
team.
this year. They're playing Oregon in some New Year's Six bowl. But
But
they're undefeated too. But
if there was a 12-team playoff,
They'd be in.
that team was in
They'd be
it,
12.
and they would get a chance
Yeah.
to
To
go and prove themselves. And that's where high school gets it right and college gets it wrong.
The thing, the college, they got it right going to the 12.
Yeah.
But they established this, 2 years ago is when they came out with, we're going to do this. There was this gray area where we're going to play 2 college playoff rounds with the 4 team.
Yeah, they
Why
should have
not
done it
just
this year.
enforce it?
It-
It's the right thing. You've seen that there's teams on the outside scraping in that could compete with the top 4.
They are scared to death of change.
Yeah, but
That's
I'm
what
saying,
it
why
comes
are we
down
trying to delay this all of a sudden? Like, the 12-team playoff this year,
Yeah.
you might have Penn State creep in there. Ole Miss might do something. The probably top 2 explosive offense in the nation, Ole Miss.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you just got a lot of teams that are just could compete.
Good.
And
Absolutely.
It's gonna be really cool next year because I'm pretty sure the first round's gonna be at the home college's field. So that atmosphere is gonna be so cool.
Yeah, it really is, and that's the great thing about college athletics is the atmosphere. So why
College
not
football is the best
incorporate
sport. Yeah.
some of that into what you're
Absolutely.
doing? So, and again, going back to high school gets it right. In Mississippi, we have 32 teams in the playoffs. Now, 32 is probably too much for college. You know?
Yeah. I think 12, 16 is.
I think 12 they got it right.
12's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Because that's enough teams to where it's it's the best. Like 16 would be there'd be a couple teams that just get absolutely.
Then again,
Yeah.
once you get to 10, you're going into the 2-loss teams
Yeah.
too. Like Ole Miss had 2. They lost to two of the top 4 teams in the country. I mean,
Yeah.
that's justifiable losses. But then again, that's where you could start creeping in an upset.
Yeah.
Once you get to who's ranked in the 20s, like
Tennessee.
15, exactly.
Yeah.
Tennessee's 9-3.
Yeah.
They competed with Bama, I guess, but
Yeah.
I mean.
And ultimately, I think what you're going to see is the strongest team, maybe not the best team all year, is going to win the national championship, but one of the strongest teams is because somebody's probably going to get knocked off from time to time in situations like this. I will say I'm not a fan of getting a bye ever in sports, ever. I think the equal amount of games is the right way to go. To me, I never liked, as a coach, getting a bye ever because you sit there and
Absolutely.
you don't get a chance to play. You get a chance to develop rust, and it's just not a good thing for me. But I think the more teams you get a chance to be in there, the strongest is going to survive over
for
the
sure.
long
That
run
happened
of
to
it.
both of our teams last year, baseball
Correct.
and soccer. We both didn't play a bye and ended up playing very late in the playoffs.
That's
so.
right. That's right. And then the year before, baseball
We had
did get a
and
bye
We came out
and got
just
did not play well, and I think that that plays against you.
There's
Absolutely.
no bye this year.
no
buys.
which I'm
And
glad they're doing that.
Mississippi got that right. They made it to where there's not a bye and everybody gets a chance to go play an equal amount of ball games. So really good. So, all right, great discussion, guys. Looking forward to you on the soccer field this week.
Let's go.
Wesley, I know you've still got some off-season training going. I can't wait to see all of our teams competing this week, and I think we'll have one more episode before Christmas break hits us. And next week, I do want to talk a little bit about the Holiday Classic that we have coming up for basketball. It's going to be really exciting. Can't wait to see that happen, and just having Burt Jenkins Gym rocking with some high level talent in there. So
Absolutely.
pumped about that. But until next week, hoo-yah.